Today, V asked about optimal pedaling cadence, so I talk about the research on that. Then I do 4 times 4-minute intervals in Lorentzweiller. More about the training after the question on cadence.
So that's an interesting question. I was watching a professor talk about it. The lab data is that it's the same. That the same power at different cadences is pretty similar effort. Fatiguing is similar. If anything, the optimal is 60 to 80 RPM cadence. So pedaling rate 60 to 80, which to me would feel really slow. Most people have done a lot of cycling and maybe some racing ride more like 80 to 100. As the power output increases, so if you're riding harder, you probably want to raise your cadence. So the faster you're going, the higher your cadence should probably be. Essentially, you have to push harder on the pedals, and you counteract that by spinning the pedals faster instead of making it harder. So as you increase your power output, you should also increase your pedaling cadence. Right. So you don't want to just keep pushing harder and harder on the pedals. You want to speed up so you're not producing enormous amounts of force. River looking calm and peaceful. Nice wood sculptures. Water. Looks like the road's open. Come back on the road. It's pretty here. It's a little bit smelly. No. I missed.
This car coming, one of them is 2 person hugging each other and the umbrella is so cute.
Sweet. So I was going to say the odd thing is the lab tests on cadence seem to suggest that you can can actually go pretty low cadence, use a bigger gear for the same speed. But
And
that's
it's less tiring.
the same or less. Left turn. But basically all racing cyclists use higher cadences.
Cannot go down. The legs won't allow.
Yeah, they find it more comfortable not to. So there's some suspicion that, which way am I going? I want to go right. So anyway, there's some suspicion that over long time periods, the lower cadences, the higher cadences lead to less fatigue over hours or even days that aren't measured in the lab.
You should learn this sentence.
What does it mean?
For my benefit. My legs are breaking.
Ah.
I love that Komoot doesn't adjust its speed for length of effort, so all my intervals are, quote, pro-paced. Some background here. I spent all of July training for a trip to Lake Como and Switzerland. I ramped up the intervals every week to get enough intensity in climbing to be prepared, and this was the last set before leaving. The plan was to do the famous Gzalo 9K long a few days later, and the monster 20K Gros Scheidegg a week after that. This set needed to convince me there was enough power in the legs.
Whichever way I turn is uphill. I go this way, this way, all uphill.
Yep.
I found at the end of the ride.